Sometimes what looks like distance isn't disinterest at all. Sometimes a man isn't pulling away because he doesn't care. He's pulling away because he cares, and he's terrified of what happens if it goes wrong again. Past pain doesn't just disappear because someone new and genuinely good comes along. It lingers, quietly shaping how he shows up, even when he wants to be different this time. Today I'm breaking down 6 things men do when they're afraid of getting hurt again, and stay till the end, because number 5 explains a lot of the confusing push and pull you might have already noticed. Let's get into it. 1. He keeps one foot out the door. This is often the first thing you'll notice, even if it's hard to put your finger on exactly what's happening. He's present. He's affectionate. But there's this subtle sense that he hasn't fully committed emotionally. Like part of him is still standing near the exit just in case. This isn't necessarily a sign he's planning to leave. A lot of the time, it's self-protection built from experience, a way of never being fully blindsided again if things fall apart. Keeping one foot out the door feels safer than diving in completely. Because if he never fully commits, he tells himself he can't be fully devastated either. It's not logical, but fear rarely is. 2. He downplays how much he cares. Listen for the gap between his actions and his words. He'll do genuinely caring things, show up consistently, remember small details, and then verbally minimize the relationship when it comes up, calling it casual, downplaying how serious it actually feels. This mismatch usually isn't dishonesty. It's often a defense mechanism, a way of protecting himself from the vulnerability of admitting out loud how much this actually means to him. If he can convince himself, and convince you, that it's not that deep, it hurts less if it doesn't work out. Watch what he does, far more than what he insists it isn't. 3. He tests before he trusts. A man who's been hurt before often can't just trust easily, even when he wants to. He might unconsciously test the relationship in small ways, watching how you handle disagreements, watching whether you stay during hard moments, watching how you talk about him when you think he's not paying attention. This isn't manipulation in most cases. It's caution earned the hard way from someone whose trust was broken before and who's determined not to hand it over blindly again. The tests usually aren't about you specifically. They're about him needing proof, slowly, over time, that this situation is actually different from the one that hurt him. 4. He struggles to fully relax into good moments. Pay attention to how he handles things when everything is going really well. Instead of simply enjoying it, you might notice a flicker of tension, almost like he's waiting for something to go wrong. He might make a joke about it not lasting, or seem oddly quiet right in the middle of an otherwise perfect moment. This comes from experience, from a past where good moments were often followed by pain, so his nervous system learned to brace instead of relax, even when logically nothing is currently wrong. Struggling to fully enjoy the good stuff isn't ingratitude. It's often unhealed fear, quietly showing up uninvited, right in the middle of happiness. 5. He brings up his past without being asked. Here's the one that explains a lot of his behavior once you understand it. Sometimes, seemingly out of nowhere, he brings up a past relationship, a betrayal, something that hurt him, even when the conversation wasn't headed there at all. This usually isn't random, and it's rarely about the ex herself. It's often him quietly explaining himself, trying to give you context for behavior he can't fully articulate otherwise, A subtle way of saying, "This is why I am the way I am," even if he never says that sentence directly. If he keeps circling back to his past unprompted, that's usually less about her and more about him trying to help you understand him, even in a clumsy, indirect way. 6. He shows love through actions, not words. Finally, notice where his effort actually shows up. Words can feel risky to a man protecting his heart, because words are direct, undeniable, and hard to walk back once they're said out loud. Actions feel safer. So instead of saying how he feels, he shows up. He remembers the small things. He's there during hard moments, even if he can't fully explain why it matters to him so much. If the words aren't coming easily, but the effort clearly is, that's often not a lack of feeling. That's a man expressing love in the only language that currently feels safe enough for him to speak. Closing. So let's recap. He keeps one foot out the door. He downplays how much he cares. He tests before he trusts. He struggles to fully relax into good moments. He brings up his past without being asked. And he shows love through actions instead of words. None of this means he's incapable of loving you fully. It usually means he's carrying something from before you, something that takes time, patience, and consistent safety to heal from. That doesn't mean you're responsible for fixing him. That's not your job, and healing ultimately has to come from him. But understanding what's underneath the guardedness can turn confusion into compassion, and compassion, paired with your own boundaries, is often what actually helps someone slowly learn to trust again. If this helped you understand him a little better, drop a like, subscribe for more relationship content every week, and let me know in the comments, which one of these have you noticed in him? See you in the next video.